most important piece of advice ever to be delivered to mankind is made up of two simple words. With this, we will succeed ultimately, and without it, we will fail. So what are these two words? The second word is the word Allah, which is referring to Allah Almighty, the one who made you, the nourisher, the cherisher, the sustainer, the provider, the protector, etc. The one in absolute control of every aspect of your existence, Allah. That's the second word. So what's the first, and how will it so quickly make up the most important piece of advice ever? Well, it's as follows. Ittaqullaha. Wow, simple as that. Ittaqullah. We hear the term ittaqullah. People say ittaqillah, ittaqullah, etc. Allah addresses it to the believers many times in the Quran. He says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu ittaqullaha. O you who believe, ittaqullah. Then Allah says, Ya ayyuhan nasu ittaqu rabbakum. O people, ittaqu rabbakum. Have taqwa of the one who made you, the one who is in control of your entire existence, the one who feeds you, clothes you, etc. So what is the meaning of the term taqwa? It's so important. Taqwa, some say, is the fear of Allah. Well, that is a very narrow meaning, and it could be perhaps worded much better and more correctly. Because when you are scared of someone, one might say that is an element of fear, to be scared. Are you going to worship Allah because you are scared of Him? No. You're going to worship Allah because you love Him and because you're afraid of making Him angry or upset. You're afraid of His wrath, His anger. You're afraid of His punishment. So when you worship Allah out of the love of Allah, you've automatically created a barrier between you and His anger or His punishment. And this is why Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani says, taqwa is to create a barrier between you and the punishment of the Almighty by obeying the instructions of Allah and by staying away from the prohibitions. As simple as that. So a broader term and a more correct way of explaining it would be, O you who believe, be conscious of your Lord, be conscious of Allah, develop the correct relationship with Him, because taqwa is a lifetime of relationship. That's what it is. In everything there will be taqwa, there will be the relationship with Allah. So develop the correct relationship with Allah. When something comes in your direction, treat it in a way that is pleasing to Allah. That is taqwa. You're always conscious of the fact that you are returning to Allah. You're going to be answerable to Allah. So you won't harm someone who's weak, someone who works for you, someone who's poor, your spouse, perhaps any person that you consider weaker than you. You would never harm them and you would never wrong them. You wouldn't steal or cheat or deceive because you're conscious of the fact that you're going back to Allah and He is going to hold you accountable for everything. There are people who think they're going to get away with things that are wrong here on earth when they do that against others. But Allah says, you know what, we're watching, we know. Our messengers have taken record of what you've done, and you are going to come back to us. And perhaps even before you come back to us, we may mete out that punishment. So my brothers, my sisters, that is taqwa. Wasiyatullahi lil-awwalina wal-akhirin. It is the instruction of Allah for those before and those who are going to come after. To the first and to the last, starting from Adam, going all the way down to the last of humankind. It is the most powerful piece of advice ever. Ittaqullah.